Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is Raspberry Reads. I'm really pleased to do a tag video for you today, and this is a tag video in celebration of Pat from Book Chats with Pat. Pat just recently reached 2,000 subscribers on her channel, so well done Pat, that's really amazing. I have watched a few of Pat's videos, but now that I've seen just how much her content overlaps with my content, I'm definitely more of a follower of her videos, and I'm really keen to see more of what she has to share. So thank you to both Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club and Daniela over at Uncommon Reader for, first of all, tagging me in this video, but secondly for introducing me to Pat's channel so I can get to know her a little bit better as well. So yes, well done again Pat, and thank you Daniela and Ellen. So this book tag is something that Pat created, and it's the Joy and Gratitude book tag. And as I mentioned, this is just in celebration of Pat reaching 2,000 subscribers. So I'll first of all pop Pat's, Ellen's, and Daniela's channels in the description box below, and I encourage you to go and check them out afterwards. And I'll also include the description prompts, the tag prompts in the description below. So the first prompt is joy, and there's a quote from Marcel Proust which says, "Let's be grateful to the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom." That's a lovely quote. And the first prompt is name an author whose books bring you joy, or discuss a specific book that made you feel joyful. And so I've got them, I don't know if you can see sort of here, it's hard to point, but I've got lots of lovely Beatrix Potter books. That's my whole shelf comes crashing down, so these are just a few of them. I grew up reading Beatrix Potter, but also I grew up watching the videos that were created in the 90s, and it's just, they're very wholesome. I would say that the illustrations bring me more joy than the stories themselves, but the fact that Beatrix Potter both illustrated and wrote the stories means that she's such a joyful author for me. And these are still, even though they were written back in the 1800s, they're still beloved by people around the world and bring a lot of joy, especially for children or people reading to their children. The second prompt under joy is to discuss something about Booktube that makes you feel joyful. And I'm sure I'm like many people who are responding to this tag, but I find that connecting with readers from around the world specifically is something that brings me a lot of joy, because I like to, first of all, meet new people from around the world, even if it's only in a digital way, but I like to hear people's perspectives. And I think that using a digital platform like Booktube, YouTube, is a wonderful way about hearing different diverse perspectives on literature. So that's what I would say brings me joy from both watching Booktube and having my own Booktube channel. The second section of this tag is friendship, and so the quote is from Lucy Maud Montgomery from Anne of Green Gables, and it says, "Kindred spirits are not so scarce as I used to think. It's splendid to find out there are so many of them in the world." And it's discuss a book that focuses primarily on friendship. So the book that comes to mind about friendship is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I've actually just finished that book. And I thought it was wonderful, and I will go into more detail about that book in a wrap-up video at some point. But there's definitely a significant theme of friendship throughout that book. And off the top of my head, the two main characters are Sam and Sadie, and this duo ends up creating computer games. And they have a long-standing, very complicated but genuine friendship throughout the book, and the whole book sort of revolves around their friendship. So yes, if I could recommend a book about friendship, and if you're looking for something a little bit more, it's contemporary, but I would say that it has sort of, it's contemporary, but it has an element of sci-fi in the sense that it's very much about computer games and imaginative worlds. So yeah, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. The next section is laughter, and the quote is from Chbosky, from The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it says, "There's nothing like deep breaths after laughing that hard, nothing in the world like a sore stomach for the right reasons." And the prompt is discuss an author or specific book that makes you laugh. And again, I'll have to stand up to get it. So the book that always comes to mind when I think about laughter is Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Broche. This is quite old now. I think it came out in maybe the early 2010s. And this is a comic, so you can see it's all comic based, and it's about Ali's very real struggles with mental health, but she portrays it in such a hilarious way. And if you've ever struggled with mental health, you will most likely relate to this book. It's just charming. The pictures are hilarious. The messaging is funny, but it's also very powerful as well. So I always recommend Hyperbole and a Half if you're looking for a laughter. The next section is on community, and the quote is, "We cannot live only for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men," and that's by Herman Melville. And prompt number 5 is discuss a book where the idea of community is important. So I mentioned this book on my channel recently, and that's The New Wilderness by Diane Cook. And you might be thinking, why are you recommending a dystopian work for community? Well, I figured I might as well provide something a little bit unusual. And so it's quite a hard-hitting book, The New Wilderness, but the premise is that it is a community of individuals that go out into a wilderness setting in some sort of like social environmental experiment. And it is, although it is about environmental themes, it is very much so centered on the idea of community and community dynamics and sort of power struggles and constructs and that sort of thing. So if you're looking for a sci-fi dystopian recommendation that has a theme of community, then I would very much recommend Diane Cook's The New Wilderness. And again, under the same umbrella category of community, the 6th prompt is discuss a communal reading experience that you have had. I really struggled with this prompt because the only communal experience I can think of is book clubs that I belong to. So I decided to go with The 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna, and that is by Juliet Grams. And I read this for my work book club several years ago. And it's historical fiction, and it's set in Italy just before the Second World War, I think. And then it follows an immigrant experience over to America. And so if we're thinking about the theme of community, first of all, I read it in a communal way because I discussed it with my work community. And secondly, there are lots of themes of community throughout the 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna, both when Stella is in Italy and then when she has immigrated to the United States. There's an Italian American community there, which she's very much a part of. So yeah, that was just sort of off the top of my head when thinking about community. And it's a great historical fiction book. If you haven't read it, I think it's a lesser known book, and it's definitely worth a shout out because I very much enjoyed it. The last theme is gratitude, and the quote is, I can no other answer make but thanks and thanks. And that's from William Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. And the 7th prompt is name a book in which a character demonstrates real gratitude, or name a book that left you feeling a sense of gratitude. And again, I struggled a little bit with this prompt because I'm sure I've read lots of books that focus on the theme of gratitude, but none just happened to come to mind. But as I was perusing my shelves, I saw Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this is a nonfiction book about Indigenous knowledge and relationships to the natural world, to the land. And if any book is going to make you think about being grateful for our natural environment, grateful for the preservation of traditions and customs, and grateful for the respect of nature and the land, then this one is definitely one that is at the forefront of many people's minds. Robin Wall Kimmerer is coming out with a new book this month called something about the serviceberry, which I'm very keen to get to. It's beautiful writing, a beautiful way of expressing gratitude to cultures, Robin Wall Kimmerer's Indigenous culture and her profession as a as a scientist. And yeah, so if you haven't read Braiding Sweetgrass, I mean, it's very well known, but I highly recommend it. And the last bit of this tag is to just tag some other people. So I would like to tag Mary Andrea Belmont, Nikki over at My Messy Bookshelf, and Jolene from Bookworm Adventure Girl. So yeah, thank you again, Pat, and congratulations, Pat, for creating this tag. It was really fun to do. And thank you to Ellen and Daniela for tagging me. Apologies if my camera has gone slightly wonky halfway through filming the video. My camera slipped because the dog hit my camera stand, which is a chair and a box of Lego stacked on each other. But anyways, so that just leaves me to say that I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is that you're reading, and I will see you soon in a new video. Take care.